is a community business still.
And I'm going to build the argument to the doctor and to the investor that when they meet with the radiologist, they're going to say, Mr. Radiologist, doctor, did you get into this business to help people as much as you possibly can, or to stand in the way of progress? Because your arguments...
Or to make money.
Right, or to make... Well, we want him to make money. The best way to get him to be your friend is to show him how to make money.
But that's what he's defending.
Okay, so, but he's not going to lose any of those friends, is the point I'm making. The thing we have to be able to say is to those people, the argument is this, bottom line. Will, in the 10 million, those numbers are correct, the 10 million back scans a year, can you make the argument that you're getting better for your patient out of recumbent or upright? And as soon as you start making, now that's not, a lot of people don't feel comfortable arguing with people. I love arguing with people who are making the wrong argument. If they're not telling me the way it is, I will sit there all day and argue till I'm blue in the face and that I can prove to them. But I tell you one thing, I'll never get into an argument I can't win. I'd rather stay quiet and not get involved. But when I get a hold of something that, like with the opportunity I see at Fonar, it's all about, we're going to have to go out and argue. That's going to be our job for a little while. We're going to have to fight against that stream, but I tell you what's going to end up happening. You're going to start finding people as soon as it gets that tipping point, and we're not far from it at this point in my belief. I think the company keeps jumping up, is getting there, and there's been advancements in everything over the entire period of time. When we get to that
competitive dynamic in the marketplace that you're all sensitive to, and it's an important one to give some thought to. And that is that you talk about the radiologist, we talk about selling the radiologist, we talk about the difficulties of selling the radiologist, and a lot of that originates in the fact that the radiologist has his own scanning center, and he's competing with an upright in his community, and the upright is taking business from him. So he's competitively intense against the upright MRI. Now you can approach that marketplace problem two ways. One is you can slug it out with him that you've got better technology. But the reality is that it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. That radiologist can have both.
right.
The farmer doesn't decide, I'm not going to have a tractor because I have a car. He gets both.
Yeah.
And the reality is that this radiologist needs both. It's that simple. He's going to misdiagnose patients with a serious disease that are ending up in 1 million of them on surgery every year. And he's going to misdiagnose it without having the technology. And the surgeon wants him to have the technology. And we have radiologists who have bought both. And they're very fine, complementary solutions to this competitive issue.
And your statistics prove that out, that when people get into the MRI scanning business, whether they're business people or doctors, once it's successful, they go out and buy another machine. So that's the point. If you can, and that's where I think we're really going to get a great input to giving to the customer. You know what? Not only have we thought of the greatest technology, but we've also thought of the entire system that when you get involved with us, that's going to help you load the machine up to get the scans in, to get the awareness out before it's coming, to show them an entire business strategy that'll make them successful. But absolutely, that really, I should have clarified the point. I'm envisioning most radiation centers having 2 machines, 1 in each room. I would think the players we would want to go after with radiation, those would be the ones, or radiology, because they would be in the position that when one needs to be replaced or any more growth happens, why wouldn't you want this center for everything else on the center east side of town and have your upright, if you chose to have it as a totally separate business, on the center west part of town, or both in the same location? But getting the word out, back to what Sal's talking, all the problems that you guys are running into will be solved by more sales.
Right? The one thing I would add to what I said is that remember, from the point of view of the radiologist, who is constantly trying to encourage the 300,000 doctors to send to him, he now has one-stop shopping. Whoever the doctor is, if he's got a 3T, he gets a 3T brain. If he's got a doctor who's got a patient with back pain, he meets that service too, and he doesn't have to worry about those services going to a competitor because he has it all, because he has embraced both technologies and both needs.
And to the radiologist, you can make the argument it's a value-added sale, like the doctor's saying. Let's make that argument. If you're going to put in a second machine, you now can be a value-added service. Because we can do anything the incumbent does if we need to, but they cannot do what we do. You could literally, if you did it correctly, and we were talking about those 50-mile radiuses, so at first, you tried to find one person in each of those radius so they weren't really competing against each other. Don't say we're not going to put another one, because if you have a recumbent, there's 10 of them in town anyway. So it's not that we're not going to be able to sell them. But I would say if in your territory you could actually pop them out that way, the way you would be able to get all those referrals and sell it as the one of a kind in the area, there's so much territory you can still say those words to.
What are the key
Yes, Sal.
We are suffering
Yeah.
this problem.
Okay.
27% of our customers bought more than one system.
Right.
We have now surgeons that get into this business, and they are asking us, give us a radius, we want to buy 5. Okay? See, this present sales force is suffering lack of sales. And what we have to do is to reconvert them, don't give up, charge up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. But prospects too, I would say, Sal, one of the things that I think really needs to be looked at, and I saw in the itinerary that you're going to be going through everybody's book of prospects. I've been calling for about a week and a half, and I think I have 9 prospects already. I would say a salesman needs probably 100, 150 prospects at a time, that should be a pool that they should be working through. And now that takes a lot of work to get on board and find them, but I agree with you. I don't think that you can do sales off of small numbers of prospects and be beholden to a small group of possible prospects, which from some of the people I've talked to seems to be part of the problem. They're not generating enough prospects. So, and again, in the system of what we'll go over, and I'm not exact what time the next break's going to be, but one of the things we're definitely going to talk about next is generating more prospects, because it's not that hard in my opinion. I've thought of a number of lines of prospects that I think you could do relatively quickly.
We have to open up our minds.
Yeah.
We cannot do it. We can do it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That's when the salesman wakes up.
Yeah.
Okay? The fact is, no other company produces this product.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. It's one of a kind. Yeah, it's very important. Yes.
So Glenn, do you believe, it's a question, do you believe that exclusivity creates demand?
No.
Because that's what Sal's talking about. He's talking about customers that say, we want an area for a period of time
Right.
to start to build our business. That's what he's referring to.
I think that there's some merit to it, but I don't think in this industry, with there being 7,000 to 10,000 of them already out there, and anybody who's in the business already knows there's competition, you might say if somebody was willing to do a multiple buy, that they could have some protection for a period of time. But once they're entrenched, the truth is, the way I'm going to show you how to get your locations to perform, because I know this is going to work, because we've already tested it out. Once I show you how to get them to perform and generate these scans, it's going to be irrelevant, because we'll get such a foothold with the first one you get in a territory. It's going to be tough for others to come in and compete.
But again, to repeat what Sal's saying, that's part of making the deal.
That's
You know about deal making.
Yeah, and
That's
I noticed in the agreement that there is from time to time where Fonar could change circumstances with the customer in the deal. If a guy comes to you and says he wants to buy 5 machines, I bet you it opens everybody's mind to possibility of what they're willing to give for a period of time to get 5 sales. That's an unusual circumstance. On an individual, I would like to try to create the exclusivity for a period of time by the way I attack my territory. That's the way I would prefer to do it. With it being such a new machine, we can keep exclusivity going. for a period of time within our territory technically. Now,